Sawadee Krap and welcome to another episode for the Funky Pod and for our two media prof reacts to two things. Number one, being sick, so I apologize for any sniffs and sneezes and whatnot in between. And two, of course, WrestleMania. WrestleMania just happened and I purposefully waited with this video for the Raw after WrestleMania as well to just include all those milestone events into one, well, actually in two podcasts. So let's start off with WrestleMania though, of course. And as you know, if you follow my channel before, I don't review the matches one by one. I'm not Dave Meltzer. You have Dave Meltzer for that. Oh, 7 stars. I try to look at it like a media prof, right? Like I'm looking at like the storytelling, for example, and like how maybe even they produced it sometimes. So the WrestleMania, there's not that much to talk about because WrestleMania, I mean, they should be on point. At Raw, there were a few things to maybe smoothen over, but focusing on WrestleMania first, right? And so when we look at, and yes, if you're watching this as a video, I do have notes because, well, it's been like 7,000 matches, so we have to look at all those, of course. So when we started with Austin Theory versus John Cena on Saturday, and yeah, so again, I'm not reviewing all the matches, but from a storytelling point of view and also from like just a structural point of view for how do you structure the whole event on Saturday, right? It was the best, of course, to have it start off. Cena knows that he can't go as hard anymore, probably, as at least for right now. So it was smart. It was the most boring match of the day. Half it first. The crowd is happy to hear the Cena music, which is great, right? Like, yeah, that like evokes some emotions, and then you forgive him for having like a bland match. It was not a special WrestleMania match. They didn't try anything crazy. It was kind of bland. It could have been like on any Raw, any SmackDown, if you're honest. And it didn't really further any story that much. I mean, there wasn't much build anyways. The build was John Cena saying, "You're not ready, kid, and I'm going to show you." And Austin Theory said he's ready. And then, of course, typical, like, right, Cena match, like the bad guy taps out, but the ref doesn't see it, and low blow and so on. So, yeah, Cena has, I know, some material ammunition if he wants to come back. But, I mean, we all know that he's, like, more Hollywood than anything. So I don't expect to see much more to come out of this. In Raw, after Mania, we saw Theory coming out challenging Rey Mysterio. Booyaka, booyaka. So now maybe Theory is taking on the role as the new legend killer. Like he talked about adding another name to the list, and he did. So fair enough. So maybe that's what he's doing now. And the cool thing, I think, is he embraces the heel role, like, well-ish now. Like, he really got the people hating on him. And if you're a heel, that's what you want, right? So from a storytelling point of view, I think the story with John Cena was just like a throwaway story. It's more about, like, building the character of Austin Theory. And they're doing a good job with that right now. And now he added Rey Mysterio to the list. I don't know who he goes after next. I mean, there's Edge, but Edge might be like further down the road, so let's see what other legend he can find in the meantime. Maybe later. Okay, we had this. Then we had the WrestleMania showcase with the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders and Alpha Academy and Braun Strowman. Alpha Academy are just awesome. Like also on the mics, they're fantastic. In the promos, the ad reads are fantastic with them. They need a better push or more of a push. I don't know. Chad Gable is amazing. Storytelling wise, of course, it's just like lots of high spots, high fly. Street Profits picking up the victory so that they stay in the main event picture, in the title hunt picture, obviously on Raw after Mania. And they then challenged Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens for the titles, lost, but like just to establish themselves as like, hey, we're the next big player in the division. Again, storytelling-wise, there wasn't much or many stories to be told in the showcase on like a 4-team matchup, but with the Street Profits being the winners and then moving on and saying like, hey, we won and I killed Braun Strowman. I mean, or derailed him. That gives them some momentum. So that makes sense that they're now in the title picture to some extent. We had Seth. I'm not gonna say it. Rollins versus Logan Paul. As expected, the show stealer. I hate Logan Paul for being so good at that. It's annoying. The intro was lame. I mean, the zipline was kind of fun until you realize it took forever. And Logan Paul apparently, interestingly enough, doesn't seem to be very good at like talking off the cuff. Like what he said, like, oh, I got a zipline for my birthday. What? Like usually he has good promos and stuff, but maybe that's when he has more time to think about it. That what he like said while he was on the zip line was a bit weird. The match itself was fantastic. Rollins, Paul, they have great chemistry. Some ridiculously athletic stuff that especially then Logan Paul did again. It was amazing. Storytelling wise, you can say Logan Paul can hang with Seth Rollins. He can blame KSI for it if he wants to. But yeah, the question is like, when will Logan Paul be back? Is he only going to wrestle the big shows? Because he wasn't at the Raw after Mania, for example, right? So is he only wrestling the big shows? Oh, it's a big show. Then it's hard to tell a story rather than, hey, I'm here again. I'm the big star. So he's so good. He should have a bigger spot on the roster, but maybe he doesn't want to. Seth Rollins right back in the main title picture, obviously, if he wants to insert himself. And I do assume that's the plan, to be honest. He tweeted something like, don't forget who's the real one, because he lost to Roman once, but via DQ. So he's the only more or less main event player who hasn't really lost to Roman. So I would assume that there's another push coming there at some point. Yeah, because I mean, he is obviously really, really good. We had Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus, and Lita versus Damage Control, which was a bit, I don't want to say lame, but I mean, Lita doesn't move well, unfortunately. I mean, she's at a certain age, you can't expect that much, of course, but that was tough. Damage Control, yeah. The story, I mean, it's also worth to be noted that apparently like Bayley's contract might be up soon if I understood it correctly, so maybe she's not going to be there much longer, who knows. Yeah, the story wasn't really well told there, but it's more like a Trish Stratus showcase with like her head scissors and stuff. It doesn't really further anything besides just Damage Control probably falling apart now. We had Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio, best match that Dominic ever had so far. Booyaka, 619. Bad Bunny's interference taking away the chain was nice. Also then came to full circle and the Raw after Mania when Bad Bunny was in the audience again. And then Dominic hit him, Bad Bunny hit him back, and then Bad Bunny got really taken out by Damian Priest, a choke slam through the table. Like Bad Bunny, I'm becoming a fan of Bad Bunny. Like, I mean, a super big celebrity taking those bumps, that's kind of crazy. He really is really into it. Like, respect to Bad Bunny. Storytelling wise, I mean, yeah, that's not it. Like, I mean, Rey Mysterio now beat Dominic. Dominic gonna be out for vengeance, obviously. They're gonna run this for another 6 months. He attacked him like after Rey Mysterio lost to Austin Theory. Dominic attacked Rey in the ring again, laid him out. So that's not over, obviously. We're going to see more of that until probably SummerSlam or something, and then maybe we get a passing of the torch there. Let's see. But yeah, so that story continues, which is fine. It's not like the audience was really into it. So yeah, go milk it a little bit more. That's totally fine. SmackDown Women's Championship, Rhea Ripley defeated Charlotte Flair. Lots of people liked that match a lot. I did like the second half of it, maybe. I'm not sure. The first half wasn't that great in my opinion. But it was, again, not judging the matches here, judging the story, and the story makes sense. You had to pull the trigger on Rhea Ripley now. She was red hot coming into the whole thing. So that was, well done. So all hail the new queen. What also many people mention, like from a storytelling point of view and from a storytelling point of view, actually, like at the end when Rhea Ripley holds up the title and then the camera goes to Charlotte Flair like several times on her face, and she's like, yeah, good one, kid, you got me there. I think with Cultaholic, I heard they're mentioning that as well. So that from a storytelling point of view, it's like, why do you focus on Charlotte Flair so much? It's like, yeah, you got me, but I'll get you back. I'll let you have it now. Like Charlotte Flair is just not good at acting, unfortunately. Never been. I hate it. She's great at like athletic stuff, but she's not good at telling a story and like with her face. I'm sorry. We had Pat McAfee defeating The Miz. That was, of course, a throwaway, so there's not much story there. The Miz got defeated by Snoop Dogg later, by Shane McMahon. No, not by Shane, but Snoop Dogg acting on the fly with help from the referee. The referee called like for the people's elbow, which was great when Shane got hurt. So that was smart. But then The Miz got beat up by... But he gets beat up by everybody right now, and then he got beat up by the returning Matt Riddle, the Raw after Mania. So there's no story there. Miz is just there to put people over right now, and he does so very, very, very well. The Miz is awesome. The matches were not awesome, but I mean, The Miz is just there to make others look good, and he does it very well, I think. Okay, Tag Team Championship match: KO, Sami Zayn, Usos. Great match. Again, not reviewing the match. Great match. The storytelling was perfection, though. We all knew they're gonna win. Yet they had us believe maybe the Usos retain. Like when they were beating up on Sami and he was out and they super kicked him like 1,000 times. Like, okay, that's it now. And then they hit the 1D. Like, oh God, that was fantastic. I'm old enough not to freak out about stuff like this, but I was at the edge of my seat and I was screaming a little bit when he kicked out and when they then actually hit the finishing combo. So that was just storytelling perfection. It's not over. I think the Usos are gonna now re-enter or reinsert themselves at some point. Maybe there's something happening with Roman, also based on what happened on the Raw after Mania, that he sent them away, for example. So there might be some tension there. Maybe they're gonna also break slowly with Solo. Maybe it's gonna be Solo and Roman versus the Usos for a little bit, for example. But yeah, let's see about that. I mean, the match was great. The Usos maybe take a step back now for a few other challengers, but I mean they're never gonna be far away. So yeah, that's gonna be very interesting. I wanted to say, but then I thought about Raw while I'm saying this. I thought about Raw, and then Raw was just weird. But more on this in just a moment, right? Then we had the Sunday ratings, and I had it on Twitter, and I shared it on Twitter. I said Saturday felt like Triple H booked it, and Sunday felt like Vince McMahon booked it. Because then, I mean, we had Brock versus Omos. Zero build-up. I mean, almost zero build-up. Yes, they had some build-up, but let's be honest, there was no big story there. There's no big story coming out of that. Yes, he F5'd Omos. Congratulations. We had Women's WrestleMania showcase match, which was just... We had the Intercontinental Champion Gunther, yes, der Ringgeneral, defeating Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. That was a good match, and great storytelling, how then Drew McIntyre interferes with Sheamus's cover attempt, for example. That was great. So storytelling here on point one more time. And in the end, Gunther comes in to just powerbomb both of them. Well done. Well done. And Gunther is... I wasn't a fan of his when he was Walter necessarily, because I'm not a big fan of like the old school wrestling, so they just slap each other. But the way, not he slaps, but the way he tells a story in the ring is really compelling. Like everything, I think Corey Graves said it like in kayfabe, but he said like everything he does has meaning, and I agree. Like everything, every way he moves, his facial expressions, everything has a meaning. So that's fantastic. So Gunther is great at telling stories. Sheamus and Drew McIntyre were also great at that. Like the disbelief in Sheamus's face, fantastic. So that was great. Story that comes out of that is that Gunther is apparently not going to the main event picture anytime soon because he still got the IC title now. Surprise. Drew might be gone. We're not sure. So Sheamus has to keep trying. I don't know. Maybe it's like now Sheamus versus Drew if Drew sticks around for a little bit. We had Bianca Belair versus Asuka. How can you not have Asuka be the champ now? Maybe they just want to get rid of her now for whatever reason. I will never... No, maybe that's wrong. I'm not a fan of Bianca Belair right now. Like, yeah, she is very athletic, but I think her storytelling in the ring as well as on the mic or as well as the facial expressions, is just not great. Like she's Charlotte Flair, just in a different form. I'm not a fan of Bianca Belair, unfortunately. The match was okay for what it was, but the story would have been cool if Asuka would have won, because now Asuka said maybe she has to go back to Japan. Like, who knows? Maybe they're giving her a new deal. I don't know. But why not pull the trigger now? Especially given like how the main event ended. So why not have a new champion here? That was a bit apologies. That was a bit weird in my opinion. Then we had the Snoop Dogg thingy. Smart. Thinking on the fly by Snoop Dogg, Miz, and the ref after Shane got hurt, so it was good. Hell in a Cell Edge versus Finn Balor. Didn't like it at all, to be honest. Like, Brood Edge, but no Brood music, no Brood outfit. Like, just a Brood name. No interference at all by Judgment Day. That medical thingy, okay, but not their fault, but still, like, the story here was not told to fruition, in my opinion. And like an easy concerto to finish off the Demon, seriously. After the Demon no-sold everything up until the ladder throw. I'm not sure, not a big fan of how this ended, to be honest. There should have been like something bigger, I think, to put the Demon to rest. Like, there should have been like a bigger spot. But maybe he was really like not feeling it, but Triple H said he was okay, but of course he has to say that. So maybe they just had to finish that match like quickly-ish to make sure that Finn gets out there okay, which is fair, I guess. Just like unfortunate, I think, how that ended. I would have liked to see a few interferences in this match, because it would have made sense if the Judgment Day comes out and then maybe Christian and Gangrel were there. That would have been cool to see, for example. There was a chance, I think, to do that. And then we had the undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns defeating Cody Rhodes. Great match. Not a good match. But a typical WWE match. Like, they're all at WWE matches. That's wrong to say. More like a Vince match. Like, very, very slow build. And then just lots of back and forth and counters and like very cliche baby face-ish then for Cody, but it's fine, because while I didn't like the first 10 minutes or so, in the end I was invested, so good job there. And we all we knew that Cody was gonna win. And I think from a storytelling point of view, it would have made sense to have Cody win. Now, that Roman won was a swerve, that was good. But if you think further, who will be the guy that Roman's going to feud with now? And then take into consideration what happened at the Raw after Mania, even more so. So the positives are, it was a swerve. So, hey, I didn't expect it. Okay. You can't have happy endings all the time. Fair enough. The best job in telling the stories. Because... like, what's next now for let me say the positive things first. When Roman came out at the Raw after Mania, it was so loud. The people hate him. So great job generating more heat there. It was fantastic. But what's next for each of them? Like, who is Roman gonna feud with? With any of the Usos? Nah. Seth Rollins, but then you have to start building that story now again. What's happening with Cody? Cody wanted a rematch, and then Roman says no, and Cody's like, okay, if I don't get a rematch, how about we have a tag team match? Like, you're going from fulfilling your dad's dream to, well, I'm just gonna have a tag team match with a random guy with you. What? That was weak-ass storytelling. And then Brock Lesnar coming out was kind of fun for a moment, but then Brock Lesnar F5ing Cody before the match starts. Yes, another swerve, great, but so now you have Brock Lesnar feuding with Cody. Brock Lesnar gonna be like, you took everything I worked for. Nate Diaz. And then so we have Cody and Brock so that Cody has to work his way back to Roman. And who's Roman gonna feud with now? So night 1 of WrestleMania was fantastic. Great matches, great storytelling. In night 2 it went down in my opinion, the Raw after WrestleMania was a bit disappointing. No big reveals, returns, or anything. So that was a little bit disappointing, in my opinion. But hey, let me know what you think. Like, did you like all the stories that have been told? WrestleMania, the Raw after Mania. Did I miss something? You think, hey, you didn't get that story that was actually completely different. You should have paid more attention to that. Let me know your thoughts. Shout out in the comments. Shout out social media at funkitpod, funkitpod@gmail.com. I'm gonna go cough and sneeze now, and we talk soon. Don't forget to always kick out a 2, of course. Sorry, Cup.